Welcome, welcome to This Week at Oso Libre. I'm your host and winemaker, Michael Barretto. We understand during this time it is difficult to come out to Paso Robles and visit us here at the winery. So we thought we would try to bring a little of the winery to you. Over the next half hour, we have insight on some of the fascinating things that go on around the ranch, brought to you by members of our staff. And to allow for some audience participation, I will be live in the portion between our segments. So if you have a question or comment, feel free to ask on Facebook. I'll respond during the break. So go ahead, ask away. On today's program, we're going to visit the Alpaca Pen with Janine, venture out to the old Jessie James hideout with Chris, see what's happening in the Adelaida with Ashley, and finally cook a top round roast with estate beef and see how it pairs with our newly released 2015 Quixotic Cabernet. First, it's off to Janine and the Alpacas.
Hi guys, this is Janine here. I am the marketing manager at Oso Libre. I am also in charge of our sustainability efforts here at the winery, and today we're going to talk about our cute friends right here, the alpacas. So, one of the most common questions that I get in the tasting room is, are they llamas or are they alpacas? So these are alpacas. They are a little bit smaller in stature, weigh about 150 pounds, and stand about 3 feet tall at the shoulder. They are originally from South America. They were introduced in the United States in 1984, and we use them as a part of our sustainability program. So, as you can see here, they use a common restroom that can then be collected and used as a fertilizer in the vineyard. We're lucky enough to do that. That helps with nitrogen fixation. There are two different breeds of alpacas. There are the Surreys and the Wacays. We have the Wacay breed here. They produce... God, these poor things are going to get so fat. So they produce a wonderfully luxurious fiber. They get sheared once a year. We donate that to a local gouge. Alpacas are part of the camelid family. What's going on? So they are related to camels, llamas. So another interesting thing about alpaca fleece is that it is hypoallergenic. In addition to their role in our sustainability program, alpacas are actually very protective animals, so we stick them in the field with our sheep. If there's a fox or a coyote or something, they will band together and then run out and scare the predator away. Domesticated by the Incas more than 6,000 years ago. So alpacas are just one of the steps into our sustainability program. We take that very seriously here at Oso Libre Ranch, and we look forward to seeing you in the future so you can hang out with the alpacas like me.
Thanks for that, Janine. And now, the next stop on our virtual tour around the ranch is to the back 60, where Chris has been spending a lot of time lately. He has been out at the old homestead looking for artifacts. Take it away, Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Bear. Welcome to the back 60 acres of our winery, vineyard, and ranch. Where I'm standing right here is where the original cabin built in the early 1800s was homesteaded and put here for the purpose of a lifestyle. And over behind me is the root cellar that this house had. The cabin that was located here, you can now see it up on Jensen Road. It's got a famous plaque on it because of the famous outlaw Jessie James, who hid out here back in 1868. And the reason they built a home here is because there was water. And without water, it was unable to live and sustain a lifestyle here. As long as he had water, they could look for real gold, but they called the water in those days liquid gold. Now we're at the root cellar, which was about 75 yards away from the cabin, which was about 50 yards away from the water. Here is where they would keep all of their roots and are able to keep it cool during the hot, long summers. And we protected this building, and as you can see, we built it back up. You can see the dark dirt and then a little bit of different color here. But we brought back, this is where the door was. The walls were, of course, all the way top with a wood structure above it. We found the picture in 1953 before the cabin was moved that had the window in it right here, so we put it right back. And on the inside, as you can see when you come in, you'll see the difference. In 1868, Frank and his brother, the infamous outlaw Jessie James, came to Paso Robles to visit their Uncle Drew James. He was one of the two founders of the Paso Robles Inn. They came down to hide from the bank that they just robbed in Kentucky, and they felt that the hot springs and the sulfur water of the underground springs at Paso Robles Inn would help heal the wound of a bullet that was lodged in Jessie James' lung and remained there for the rest of his life. They then ventured out to the Adelaida AVA here to Oso Libre and stayed to hide in the cabin that was right here for a period of less than 1 year. After that, they went back to Kentucky and led a life of crime until you know the ending, and Jessie James was killed for the reward. But what they did in our town was help create a legacy and a legend, and it had a big presence to us here. So of course we've enjoyed the story. We've had to research it and go back to the James family, where they visited the cabin, which is a mile from here, that used to sit right here, and we were in contact with them to verify the story. We then went back and found the family that lived here in the 1800s, and we found 3 generations, and one of them is an 88-year-old woman who's still alive today, and she gave us a whole lot of more new information. What we've tried to do here to preserve the moment of 1868, when both Jessie and his brother Frank were on our property, is we brought back some signs. We put up a fence post around it so that the only enemy we have is the gophers, not the cattle that were knocking this building down. We then put up the American flag with the 13 stars on it to represent that time in our history. We put up the Mexican flag because, of course, this land was then owned by Mexico before it became California. And we wanted to honor some of the presidents. Woodrow Wilson, we have a picture there of Abe Lincoln. Ulysses S. Grant became president after that, and it's quite a moment in history. And if it wasn't for this rock stone house, and then me finding out from our neighbor Art Norman years ago that the cabin was here, we wouldn't have had so much joy trying to find things here. We have a one more item for you to see if we can discover. Hey everybody, I want to thank you for visiting us out here at Oso Libre. And I thought before I go, I'd give one more chance at what I do many, many hours a day to maintain my social distancing. I take out my metal detector and I hunt and search. So far, no luck, but I've got 65 more acres to look at, and I'm hoping to find that big buried treasure that Jessie and Frank James hid. Let's see what we find. Look, you guys, look. There you go. That means there were horses here. This means they had a tiller here. And this means I have no idea. Let's go in here inside the house and see what's up. Oh. Look what I found laying in the ground. My gosh, what an amazing find. This hopefully will be the find of a lifetime. See you next time.
I find it odd that no one has found that rifle out there before. I know that I've been out there several times and I've never seen it. We're trying to do a few live questions here and there, but I think that our broadcast is a couple seconds delayed. So by the time Marcy's comment came in about the baby alpacas, we'd already moved on to the next segment. So we're getting your comments, and if anything's pithy, we'll bring it up towards the end of the program, just in case they don't make it through on time, okay? So next is Ashley up with some news from the ranch and around the local Adelaida district. Take it away, Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
Hey, Ashley, you're more than 6 feet away. Take your mask off.
Oh, thank you. I can breathe. And now for the news at 5.
Hey, Ashley, it's not 5 o'clock.
Oh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Delicious. News from Adelaida and beyond. Some new furry friends have moved to the pasture that borders Oso Libre Ranch. The herded goats will spend the spring feasting on the lush cover crop that has grown in the recent weeks. The herd of domestic goats will enjoy the wonderful climate and scenery through the spring birthing season, then be moved off to greener pastures before the summer heat comes to the area. Ease of traffic congestion in the Adelaida. The county's stay-at-home order has had a profound effect on the traffic patterns on Adelaida Road and Vineyard Drive in the past few weeks. The number of cars that travel these thoroughfares daily has dramatically dropped by over 73,000%, almost eliminating the bumper-to-bumper traffic problems that have plagued the area for years. I can remember before the shutdown, I could get here in 10 minutes from the 46, but now I can get here in 10 minutes. It makes me feel like we live in a rural area and not some busy metropolitan area. Under the heading of love, we'll find a way. Chris was out counting the beef cattle a couple weeks ago and came up +1. After some investigation, it was discovered that the neighbor's bull had managed to make his way through the fence that separates our property and theirs. It reminds me of what Jeff Goldblum said in Jurassic Park, life will find a way. And now the weather. Season-saving rains in late March and early April brought what would have been a drought year to near average rainfall totals in some areas. This late rain helped to build the moisture profile in the vineyard. This will allow us to forego irrigation for a few more weeks than normal. Because things have been so cool, we just had bud break in the Primitivo just last week. And we don't expect to see much activity on the Cabernet Sauvignon or Mourvedre for at least a couple of weeks. But spring is definitely in the air. We are looking at forecasted highs in the mid-80s this coming weekend with lots of sunshine. And I know that many of you have been cooped up for a while, so I thought I would go to downtown Templeton and see what people have planned for the weekend. To have a look at this.
This is Ashley reporting live from downtown Templeton, hoping to interview someone about their favorite Paso Robles wine. And wouldn't you know, there's nobody here. And here I am. I thought I'd try one more place downtown, hoping to find someone, and still no luck. You know, we're just...
Well, maybe that was not the best idea at this point in time. The person on the street interview segment really only works if there's someone on the street for me to interview. Bad idea, Barretto. And now back to Michael.
That person on the street gag always gets a laugh. Sorry about that, Ashley. The last item that we have for this week is a little cooking demo that I put together for you earlier today, featuring our Angus beef. It's a top round roast, and we're going to pair it with our newly released 2015 Quixotic Estate Cabernet Sauvignon. So have a take a look at this.
Hello everybody from the Oso Libre kitchen. My name is Michael Barretto, and I'm going to do a little cooking demonstration for you today. We are going to prepare a top round roast. The top round comes from the hind quarter of the animal and is the main muscle for the back leg. A lot of people think this can be a very tough piece of meat, and yes, it can be if prepared incorrectly. We're going to do it the right way today and show you how to get a nice tender piece of meat out of it. One of the main things is time. You can't be in a hurry to cook this piece of meat, or you'll end up with a very tough piece. Or you could take too much time. A lot of people throw this in the crock pot and let it roast all day long. Too long can dry it out, and you end up again with a tough piece of meat. We're going to roast it in the oven for about an hour and a half, low temperature, and get something very nice, which we'll show you here. We're going to use a little bit of time magic, so you don't have to sit with me for that full hour and a half. But it's very simple. We're just going to put a nice rub on it, put it in the oven, and see the results in a little bit, okay? So to make my rub, just got simple kitchen ingredients. We got some oregano, rosemary, thyme, salt, and pepper. It's a couple teaspoons of the dry spices, and then 1 teaspoon of the salt and pepper. Mix that up, and hopefully I won't get a sneeze here from the pepper. All good to go, and just put it on the roast. Rub it in. Get it on those nooks and crannies. And this will be a great meal for, as it was grown up to be a Sunday night meal. They called it the pot roast. You can have it as a roast beef sandwich. You can also keep it for lunch. Use it for leftovers during the week. Great source of protein. You also serve it with scalloped potatoes. And then when we're done, we're going to pair it with our just released for you Wine Club members 2015 Estate Quixotic Cabernet. So now that I got the rub all done, I'm going to place it in there. Clean my hands off real quick. And now it's time to move off to the oven. We're going to take it, put it in the oven at 450 degrees for 15 minutes, and then we're going to decrease the temperature to 325, and that's going to be for another hour. So again, that's 425 degrees for 15 minutes, then decrease the temperature to 325. And then we'll keep checking the temperature. When we get to about 130 degrees, we'll pull it out, tint it, and let it finish roasting in the pan. So we'll see you in a little bit. And we're back. It's been about half a bottle of Quixotic, and I think the meat's ready to come out of the oven. And so I've checked the temperature on this. We're about 120 degrees internal. Now it's time for the meat to come out and rest. We're going to just tint it with some aluminum foil. Let it rest for about 15 minutes to let the juices come out. And when we come back, we'll cut this nice piece of meat and talk about the 2015 Estate Quixotic. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Time for a little bit more Quixotic and to cut open this wonderful roast. As I mentioned earlier in the piece, this is a lean piece of meat. It'll go great on the Sunday table. Just need to cut it really thin. Goes great with mashed potatoes, gravy, on its own, with some grilled potatoes, French fries, anything. So what you want to try to do is cut against the grain. And we'll just kind of cut into it, open things up, and just start slicing it really thin. You see that come out. Nice, good pink, medium rare. And now we're ready to taste. Nice, great, fresh flavors of beef. Seasoned excellent. it's going to go great with whatever you're doing. Again, it's not a difficult piece of meat to find. It's pretty prevalent out there. It's kind of what we end up having towards the end because everybody really goes for the steaks and the hamburger and the brisket. But it's an underappreciated piece of meat that you should try. Now, to pair with it, everybody getting your wine club shipments here in the next week, we have our 2015 Quixotic. It's 100% estate Cabernet Sauvignon that was barrel aged for 40 months. What this does, this extra time in barrel just helps smooth out the wine, make it more approachable, make those tannins very soft, nice, and lingering. Being Cabernet Sauvignon has an abundant amount of tannins to begin with, so we're just kind of relaxing them, making the wine very approachable. And this is our beautiful estate Cabernet Sauvignon 2015 Quixotic. Aromas of cherry, cedar, herbaceousness, a little bit of menthol. Great Adelaida district flavors that you'd expect to find in a fine Cabernet Sauvignon. It's very lively on the mouth, good acid balance. You can feel those tannins just kind of tingling the tips of your tongue. Great wine. It'll help with the meat, bring out the flavors. It's a classic combination, beef and Cabernet Sauvignon. So if you get a chance, try this. We've got some available that we can ship to you, or you can find it at your local store, depending on how things are going in a location close to you. So we thank you so much for watching this, and now back to the front desk.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed that. It tasted as good as it looked, both the wine and the beef. So question that came in, what cut was that? That is the top round roast. That's about the extent of the questions that we've had so far, but we've had a lot of shout outs. Everybody's saying hello, wishing us well. Sorry they can't see us. Hope to see us soon. So same wishes go back to you all. We'll tell John you guys said hi. Everybody here at Oso Libre is doing well, staying sequestered and 6 feet apart from one another. So we appreciate your well wishes. And we here at Oso Libre would like to thank you for your recent orders and hope that they help you stay connected to us and your loved ones. If you need any more wine to get you through this tough time, don't hesitate. We're here and ready to get it to you. And cannot wait until you can come back again to the ranch and join us again for a burger day or Dia de los Muertos or just some other event where we can all be together and enjoy one another's company and some great wine. So from myself, Michael Barretto, Chris, everybody else here at Oso Libre, have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much.
Person on the street segment really only works if there's someone on the street for me to interview. Geez, Barretto, bad idea. And now back to Michael.
No, that wasn't good. We're going to have to do it again.
I've done it 30 times.
We're going to do it again.
I can't work in these conditions.
Come back here. There. That's what I wanted.